What's going on, you guys? This is Trent here at Rexburg Motorsports, here to do another machine walk around with you. Now, I'll tell you, I don't know about you, but my favorite time of the year is July and August. Not because it's the warmest months, not because it's my favorite dirt biking season, but because it's new model season. Here we are, July of 2020, and we've got our first 2021 model that has finally hit the showroom floors, and it's the Honda Talon X. But this isn't just the normal Talon X, this is the Talon X with the Fox live valve suspension. Now, I'll tell you, it's been a little while since I did a walk around on the Talon. It was actually when the very first Talon hit our dealership a few years back. And since then, I've had a good chance to drive one. In fact, last weekend I spent a good bit of time in a Talon X4 with the live valve suspension. I've got some feedback now. And I'll tell you, Honda has an awesome machine on their hands. So let's take a peek at this thing and check out what makes the Honda special to the side-by-side market. Alright, so what makes the Honda worth it? What makes the Honda be something that you'd want to put your money down on this compared to some of its other competitors? Now, the big thing, in my opinion, with this Honda Talon is still coming down to that transmission. This isn't a belt drive CVT. This is a dual clutch gear-on-gear transmission. Now, dual clutch, if you've heard that before, it's because you've studied cars like the Nissan GT-R, Ferraris, Porsches. They all come with dual clutch transmissions. Now, a dual clutch transmission is cool because what it does is it gives you a different clutch pack for your even number gears as well as a different clutch pack for your odd number of gears. Now, why that is cool is because what it does is you've got two different clutch packs controlling different gears, and so when you're driving in first and you tell it to hurry and shift into second, it's already got second engaged. It's just waiting to release the clutch on that pack. So it engages the clutch pack on first and disengages the clutch pack at second within milliseconds of each other. So you get very quick, rapid shifts. Now, another big thing that Honda did with this that I really like is they didn't just leave it with the dual clutch 6-speed, they gave it a sub-transmission as well, so you've got a high and low range. Now, that low range, you get all 6 gears, but with lower gear ratios. So in essence, you've got 12 gears to pick from. Now, that low range is going to be great for when you're rock crawling or when you're in the really tricky stuff. In fact, this last weekend when I was out driving the X4 with the Fox live valve suspension, I got into some pretty tricky thin trail stuff, especially for a 4-seater. Now, what I was able to do is I stopped, put it into low range, and then I started using those 6 gears instead. Gave me a lot more torque on tap. Kept getting the clutch engaging sooner down at the low speeds so that I didn't have to worry about burning up a clutch or slipping the transmission. So this machine with that transmission makes it very versatile. It's ready to rock crawl and do those really low speeds with that low sub transmission, but then it's ready for the high speed stuff when you're in high. One other thing that I'm going to tell you about this transmission is you've got 3 different shift modes that you can select from. They've got a fully automatic mode where you're either putting it in high or low and it just shifts for you. You've got an automatic sport mode that will hold each gear longer, rev it out a little further and shift down sooner to keep you higher in the RPM range where the power is at. And then you've got a full manual mode. Now, this manual mode is awesome. You got paddle shifts up here on the wheel, and what it does is it gives you full control through your shift points. So even if you're bouncing off the rev limiter, it won't shift up for you. Now, it does shift down for you. If you get too low in the RPM range, it'll shift down for you, or if you come up to a stop and you're in 3rd gear, it'll shift it down into 1st for you. Out of the 3 modes, I've got to say the most engaging one, the one that I used all last weekend was the manual mode. It's super fun to be able to bang those shifts and be able to keep the motor singing at the RPM range that you want it to be at. So everything from driving down the road and just wanting it to be quiet, I could shift it up into 6th gear and just cruise along at about 3,000 RPMs. or when I was attacking it, I could keep it up in the higher RPM range. Now it's also got hill assist. Now what this hill assist does is if you stop on an incline, it's not going to let the machine roll back. So if you stop, hurry and push that hill assist and you'll be able to start going without a little bit of a rollback. So that'll add to your confidence as you're driving this machine. Now as far as two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive goes, this has got something special. It's got a first for the side-by-side industry. Honda put into this Talon the intelligent four-wheel drive system. So what this intelligent four-wheel drive system is, it's a brake-activated traction control system. So if you've got one wheel in the front that's losing traction, it's going to engage the brake on that one wheel to help send more power to the other wheel to keep you hooked up. Now this gives you benefits in that you get the steering feedback and feel of an open differential, but then when you are rock crawling or in the mud, it's going to be sensing which wheel is spinning a little bit out of control and engage the brake on that one to send power to the wheel that's got the traction. Now I'll tell you, from using it in the mud this last weekend, it's very, very seamless. You don't even know when it's on or when it's off, but it works very, very well. You'll notice a lot of traction coming from this. So this is some very cool technology coming to Honda from their automotive side of things. Now when it comes to powertrain with the Honda Talon, they've got an awesome motor here. What they did was they took the 1000 motor that they've been running in their Pioneer for several years, and they threw in hotter cams and reworked it to make it hotter for the Talon. Now I'll tell you, this Talon motor makes plenty of power. It's got a lot of power for anything that's in the non-turbo class, and especially going through this gear-on-gear transmission, you're getting a lot more power to the wheels compared to some of the belt drive transmissions out there. With this inline twin, it's very, very quiet, it's very, very smooth, and it's ready to go the distance. You know, we've been seeing those Pioneers come in with a lot of miles put on them, and those motors are great. So with this being a little bit souped up version of the Pioneer motor, this thing's ready for a lot of abuse. So if you're looking for a machine that you know is going to be built Honda tough, the Talon's going to be a great way to go. From everything from its motor to its transmission to its whole overall chassis, Honda really knows how to build a good machine. Now, you've seen this Fox live valve suspension on some of its competitors as well. Polaris has had it for a few years. Honda, now this is their second year with it, and Can-Am has it for 2021. Now, what this Fox live valve suspension does is it's active valving suspension. So what it does is Honda actually brought in a company called Bosch. I'm sure you've heard of them. They make awesome speakers. They're a big digital company. Now, they brought in Bosch to help weed through the digital information coming in from the sensors that they've got on this machine to help activate this live valve suspension. Now what this Bosch system does is it takes information from 5 different sensors. What it is it's taking information from like how much steering angle you have on the steering wheel, what speed you're at, what type of pitch you've got on your machine and others, to help tell this computer what this machine is doing. It also takes information from like how much throttle you're giving it or brake input. And what it does is it automatically and on the fly changes the suspension settings to help better your ride in this machine. So say you're coming up and you slam on the brakes, it's going to hurry and stiffen up the front as much as you possibly can so you don't get brake dive, but then it's actually going to soften up the rear so that it can track a little bit better. So it can stay on the ground so you'll be able to better stop quickly. Now it'll also, when you pitch it into a corner, it's going to stiffen up that outside edge to keep the machine more flat. It's a very cool system. Now Honda's, with their system, they've got 2 different modes that you can select from. They've got the standard mode, and then they've got the sport mode, which will run it a little bit stiffer all of the time and be a little bit more aggressive, ready for harder hits and more air, if you will. So that's going to be something that's going to really help with this Talon. If you're considering getting the Talon with or without it, I'll tell you, it rides a lot better with it. This Fox live valve suspension is definitely worth the money when it comes to ride quality. So if you're going to be doing a lot of that rock crawling to desert runs that this transmission allows, you know, the little bit of everything, this Fox live valve suspension is going to play right along with that to help make this the most versatile machine that you could have to pick from. Honda really did a good job with this Talon X model with the Fox live valve suspension. gorgeous in the blue and white, and it is ready to go. Again, this was the first 2021 model that we got. We've got a lot more coming, and we're expected to see those throughout the month of July into the month of August. So come and check us out. Come and see what you're kind of looking for. Again, the information and models for the 2021 model year is coming out nearly daily, and so we're excited to see what is yet to come from all these manufacturers. Again, Rexburg Motorsports is a great place. We've got 10 different manufacturers to pick from for you with all of their lines. So man, we've got machines. I appreciate you tons watching these videos. And if you can, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to keep you up to date with all the Rexburg Motorsports stuff that we've got going on here.